Hi all, Alicia here with Evangelize Georgia, and I just wanted to share some quick tips about fasting. If you'd like more extensive tips, we have done a longer video on the topic of fasting. You can find that on our YouTube channel. You can also find a free handout all about fasting on the Evangelize Georgia website, evangelizegeorgia.org. When I'm fasting, I prefer to do a juice, broth, and water and herbal tea fast. And I've recently discovered powdered juices, which help to save a lot of time so you don't have to juice fruit, and you can sweeten them by adding a little bit of honey to them. And they store easily so you don't take up a whole lot of room in your refrigerator with all these juices. The next tip that I have recently discovered is popsicles. So you can take fruit juice, and I do recommend using store-bought fruit juice for this, and you can freeze your favorite fruit juice to make fruit popsicles. I do not recommend using orange juice. It doesn't taste good frozen. I have very much enjoyed freezing apple juice and apple juice blends. Another quick practical tip is that if you have never fasted before, or you cannot seem to get through a full day of fasting, try partial day fasting for a little while. So try fasting until noontime, or fasting until 4 o'clock, or fasting until dinner. Work your way up to a full day of fasting. If you are unable to fast for health reasons, or you experience health issues while fasting, you can always speak to your physician. I am not a medical expert, and I'm not offering any of this information to help you medically, although I will say that fasting does have many physical benefits, and you can look those up. Another practical tip: if you have children, children should not fast as they are still developing, but they can give something up like dessert or candy or something that they do every day that they really enjoy. They can give it up for the same period of time that the rest of the members of the household are fasting. They can give up things like media or internet, or even stuffed animals if they really like to play with certain stuffed animals, or toys. You can put those all in a big garbage bag for the week or for however many days that you're fasting for. Fasting is a good time to work on those low energy projects, those rainy day projects. The less time that you spend eating and buying groceries, the more time you will have to complete those little projects, or to complete a study, or to read more of the Bible, or to work on a writing project or a house project. Those are just some quick practical tips. I also just wanted to share a little bit about the benefits of fasting. In terms of spiritual benefits, fasting is great when you are praying over a big decision in life. It is also a great way to reboot your passion in the Lord. And I especially recommend that every time you are hungry while fasting and you deny yourself, that you give praise to God and thank Him for fasting, because as you fast, you get to undo the curse of Adam. God told Adam not to eat, and he ate. Fasting is you telling God, I'm not going to eat, and you don't eat. And it can be a very glorifying form of worship and a great expression of gratitude unto the Lord. Fasting is also one of the fastest ways to humble yourself before the Lord. There's so much blessing in humbling yourself before the Lord, and we have many promises for those blessings in the scriptures. Fasting can also help with deliverance, freeing yourself from certain demonic strongholds and also freeing others. We know from the Gospels that certain demons only come out through prayer and fasting. If there's a stronghold or a certain sin in your life that you just can't seem to shake, or a certain sin that you don't even realize you're committing, but you're feeling the consequences of that sin. Maybe you are feeling digestive issues or something psychological that you know does not have a physical cause. Maybe you've gone to the doctor and the doctor can't figure out there's something going on with you, and there is no physical cause for that. Chances are it is a spiritual thing, and you may not even be aware of what that spiritual thing is, but if you fast and seek the Lord, He will reveal it to you, and you will be able to confess that sin. And if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Yes, cleansing. Fasting is a great way of cleansing physically, but also spiritually, emotionally. There's a lot of purging that happens. But please don't mistake that for New Age and alternative medicine detox. This is God-centered. This is not man-centered. This is all the glory and praise goes to God. You're humbling yourself to magnify God in your life, because maybe you have grown numb in your walk with the Lord. Maybe you have lost passion. So you humble yourself, and you're going to see more of God. Less of you, more of God. That's what fasting is all about. So fasting is a great spiritual reboot. Fasting is perhaps one of the best ways to make your body a pleasing and acceptable sacrifice to the Lord. It is a great way to crucify your flesh I personally love to use it after the holidays, fighting all that consumerism, or during the holidays, fighting off that gluttony. Fasting can also be very healing to the person who is fasting, and it can also be a time of praying for those who need healing. Fasting is also a great way to suffer alongside of our persecuted brethren. We should always be remembering our persecuted brethren as we are one body. So when one part of the body suffers, we all suffer. But fasting is a particularly good reminder for us to suffer alongside of those who are imprisoned and hurting physically and in many other ways for the cause of Christ. Fasting can also be a great way to reignite your marriage. Nothing brings two people closer together than starving together. So if you can fast alongside your husband or wife, it is a good opportunity to humble yourselves together and to work on your marriage. I hope these little tips and pieces of information have helped, and that they inspire you to do some fasting for Jesus. I love you all so much. The Lord bless you and keep you.